So I come to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast, number 1817, Magical Monday. Hope you've all had a super fantastic sparkling day. Our day has been amazing. But I have to tell you a story about last night. So yesterday we got warnings that there was dust. We had a dust storm warning. We had thunderstorm warnings. And they were coming through around 4:30, 5 o'clock-ish time frame. The dust definitely went down the street, and I had all this crap all over my front yard this morning from all the dust storms and everything. But when we went for our walk last night, we went out. It was between rain showers because we had the app up and it showed it was raining. We looked outside. Yes, it was raining. It was thunderstorms, so I didn't go out and dance in the rain. But then we didn't hear thunderstorms for a while, so I checked, and it was down to like about to take a break. So we go for a walk. We get into the park where we always walk in the parks, just at the end of the street. So we get into the park where we always walk, and we go to the right. In the mornings, we go to the left and do this nice long walk. In the evenings, it's to the right, and we do a much shorter walk, especially in the heat at the end of the day. But we were down in the 80s. We were into the high 80s, which is around 32 degrees. I think we're 32 degrees centigrade is what we're at. Celsius is what we were at last night, which is like 100 and no, it was 80 something. It was 80, I can't remember, 80 something anyway. And it was a little on the humid side, but then it had been raining. And we walk into the park last night, and I'm like, the first thing I see is like, I'm always looking over towards the tree where I've seen that owl come down a couple of times where it sits on the grass. I'm always looking to see, is it back yet? Is it there? Is it okay? But what I saw was this massive branch sitting in the middle of the volleyball court. And we have a beach volleyball court at the park. And it was sitting right smack bang in the middle of the park. And the net was still up. So I'm not sure how it got underneath the net, but it was right in the middle of that beach volleyball court. And I'm like, oh. And as I looked at that, because you got to look past that to get to the other tree where the owl sits, I'm like, that tree looks a little weird. And then my eyes scanned to the right, and I'm like, is that tree fallen over? And I kept coming around to the right, and then right in front of our path that we go, because they have a paved path, there's a tree blocking it. So what had happened last night with the storms that came through, 2 trees were uprooted. One, which is the one that the owl sits underneath, lost a major branch. And then there was other debris around with various sizes of branches and things. So I don't know if I saw the landscapers are out today. I don't know if they're the ones that clean up the park or not. But when we go for our walk tonight, we'll check it out. If you want to see the pictures, go to our Facebook page because they are there. But I was like thinking, I don't recall the wind being that strong. And this is about a quarter mile from our house. And I'm just like thinking, oh, maybe it was stronger over there. But when we went walking to the right today, there was nothing. There was no sign of any storms that came through last night. None of it. There was no trees down. There was no branches down, no leaves. Oh, there's a couple of places where leaves had come down, where, small branches had come down, not big, massive branches like we saw last night. So that end got hit really bad. That end hardly got hit at all, and we're sitting in the middle with a whole bunch of crap on our front yard. Anything we had, there was trash out there because people have put their trash bins out last night. And at one point, I looked out the window, and there's boxes rolling down the street because of the dust storm. And there was a place across one of the houses across the road actually had their trash cans out. And when the dust storm hit, they came out and pulled them inside. I decided I was not putting out my trash cans till this morning, so I went and did that before we went and had a walk. As long as you get them out before 6, you're okay with the pickup. But pickups come in to start anytime between 6 and 7:30. So, but we got them out there in time for all of that. Had a nice walk this morning. It was beautiful temperatures, not so much humidity. Came home and got stuck into my front yard. I didn't do any weed whacking. I didn't do any edging, trimming, mowing. I basically got the blower out and cleaned all the crap and blew all the crap off my lawn, because I couldn't go mowing my lawn with all of the debris that was on there, because there was stuff that would not mix well with my little push mower. So it was hot. It was hot work out there. Then I just took the trash cans out, and actually no. Then I said to Zephyr, I'm going to go get the trash cans in. So I pulled the trash cans in, and then I thought, going to go blow the front yard area. So I went and blowed all the front yard and everything else. Got all the crap out of that. I don't know what hit me, but I came into the garage. I got the nozzle for the hose. I went out, I attached the hose, and I washed the entire front of the house. All the screens, the windows, the doors, everything, the whole front. Oh, except for the garage door, because I had that up because I don't know the code to close it. But then if I took the remote out of, I could have taken the remote. Thought about it now. But yeah, it's so I washed the whole front of the house except for the garage door. Got all of that cleaned all the driveway, cleaned the porch, everything. So the house looks nice and clean that way. The yard, grass-wise, weed-wise, still a little bit of a mess, but we'll probably do it a little more tomorrow. And then I came inside and I thought, oh, I need to start putting books on my bookcase that I got finished setting up last night. And so I started organizing some of the books that I had and finding places with more books and things. And so we've started that process. And then it was like, oh, I need to get on a call. And I'm like, oh, jeepers, I still haven't had a shower at this point. I have been a mess. We went for a walk. We came back. I did the yard stuff, which is always hot and sweaty anyway. And so I still had the cap on from being outside. So sat down and cap, I had a very red face from being working outside. Yeah, a little more color on the arms here. Although I will tell you this, my youngest brother, it used to annoy the crap out of me. When I was younger, us kids were outside all the time. If it was sunshine, it was outside. And I used to come in and I go, oh, look at this color I have on my arm. Now my brother, who has Māori in him, comes up and puts his arm next to mine. And I'm just sort of like, I look white. He goes, yeah, I got some color on mine too. And he'd put his against mine and mine would suddenly look white. So I was just like, But I'm not one of those people that like to be out in the sun that much anyway, or sunbathe, anything. Any sun I get is while I'm outside working or walking or, just outside doing stuff, not sitting in the sun. I'm not one to sit in the sun. I like to sit in the shade. But yeah, that used to annoy me as a kid. I think, oh, I've got some color on my arm. And he comes up and goes, yeah, I have too. And but anyway, just fun memories from that. But I will tell you one thing I did find. And I was so happy I found this, and I wasn't sure if it was the right one, so I had to put batteries in it to test it. I found the remote for the TV in the family room. I finally found it. I have been looking for that thing for months, basically since we moved in. Yes, I could turn on, but once I got the DVD player hooked up, I had to manually adjust the buttons on the end of the TV to get it to the right input for the DVD player. And it was annoying me because I couldn't find the remote. So I've been looking for it for months. And I did find a universal remote, which I got programmed up. So when I click, watching a movie, it turns the TV on, switches the input, puts the Blu-ray player on, and we're good to go. And then I can operate the rest of the sound and all of that from the universal remote. So we got that up about 3 months ago. But today I found the TV remote. I was like, yes. It was a very happy day in the house. But the morning was spent doing a lot of stuff around the house, which was awesome. And then of course, by the time I realized what the time was, it was time to get on and do the chat. And I'm like, oh, I had 15 minutes to grab something to eat before I got onto the chat this afternoon. I still hadn't had a shower at this point, so that got done as soon as the day was over on the chat. So yeah, now I got to go walk outside in the heat. It's 108 outside, which is about 42, I think, in Celsius. But it's just been one of those days. It's just whatever. I had plans to do stuff today. The front yard, I was planning to get the weed whacker and just trim up all the weeds and stuff and then spray them. And that's what I was going to do with that. And then tomorrow get out the mower and mow. So tomorrow will be weed whacking. Wednesday will be mowing. And then the yard should look good if we have no more storms coming through. But yeah, it's been one of those days. So got lots of good stuff done today. And it was very motivating and very inspiring and getting ideas and things. And somebody told me about, there's a TV series. It's on Netflix. It's called The Queen's Gambit. And somebody had told me about that. And it's all about this chess prodigy who's a female chess player protege. And I thought, oh, that sounds interesting because I used to love chess when I was a kid. My grandfather and my uncles taught me to play chess. My middle stepson is in school was in the chess club, a very good chess player and all of that. And I sat down one day and played against him. I hadn't played chess in years. I had not played chess in years. This is, and I sat down and I played it, and I thought, oh, this is going to be good because I haven't played chess in years. He's one of the top players in the chess. I might have actually been number one. I can't remember. But he's one of the top players in his chess club, and I'm like, great. I'm going to get killed on this one. I won the game. We have not played another chess game since. So, yeah, I was like, I'm done. That's it. He said, I want to rematch. I went, nope. He's like, why not? I said, I just want to savor the victory. So I've always had an interest in chess, and so I got watching the Queen's Gambit, and it's pretty cool. I like it. It's a great series. It's only got like 8 or 9 episodes, I think it is. Or maybe it's 7. Oh, 7 episodes. So yes, 7 episodes long. I'm already up to episode 5. I've been binge watching it. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how that ends. We'll probably get it finished tonight. Maybe not. I don't know. I might do some more books. Because I just walk into the room there and I go, oh, got my bookcase. Yay, let's get some books on there. So, yeah. And I got to move a couple more boxes because I looked at them and went, they're going to take more than 5 minutes. Put it aside. It's only the ones that take less than 5 minutes, unless it's a box of books. And if it takes more than 5 minutes, yeah, because a box of books is taking a little longer now that I'm now able to put them on bookcase onto my shelving unit. So I'll get some photos up soon, but there's a whole bunch of boxes in the way, and I've got this little lane that I can go down and put books on. So we're busy sorting as we go, which is kind of cool. And coming across a lot of books, like some books I have that are on my bookcase that I have never read, and I'm like, okay, do I put them in with the ones I have read, or do I have a separate section for the ones I have not read, so I know that this is where I need to go to read books? Or is it do I just mix them in with the other ones, and maybe some of the, oh, I haven't read that one for a while, I want to read that one again. So there's a lot of that going on in the head right now. It's sort of like, oh, forgot I had that one. I need to read that one again. So there's a lot of that going on in the head, and it's like, oh, I haven't read this one. That might be a good one to read. So I found some fiction books in there, ones that I have in genres that I like and enjoy. So I'm looking forward to reading those. And then I came across Brad's Dragon Slayers, was it Dragon Riders of Pern, by Anne McCaffrey, I think is her name. I think it's the Dragon Riders of Pern. He's got a big, thick book, which I think is like the first 3 books in the series. And I know he always wanted to see it made into movies and things, and I don't think it has been. But I'm sort of like, I'm not a big fantasy reader, but when I was in San Diego, my writers group, we had a woman there who writes young adult books that are based around dragons, around dragon riders. And I sort of thought, well, I really liked her. Well, when I joined the group, she already had some books that were out. And so I went and got, I think it was the first 3 books that she had out. And I went and got those and read them so I could get an idea on her writing style and what the books are about. So because each book sort of continues on from the previous book. So it's like a series. And because when we're in the writers group, we read portions of a book. We had a certain number of words that we had to do, that we had to bring in printed, double spaced each time, so that everybody had their own copy. We could mark up our own copies and things, give our own feedback on the thing, point out where there's grammar errors, punctuation, something just didn't flow right, that sort of stuff. So we're able to give feedback on that. And so of course I wanted to read these previous ones so I could get an idea on what her dragon books were about. I got hooked on those things. They were really good books. And even though they were young adult, I was like, I really like these books. They were just very simple. They were great stories, lots of action in them, a lot of suspense in them. And I'm like, I'm kind of hooked on these. So when I came across Brad's books, The Dragon Riders of Pern, I was like, let's see what these are like. So I'm not going to get rid of them yet. I'm going to give them a go. I'm going to give this book a go and see how it goes and what I think of it. And like I said, I'm not really into the fantasy sci-fi genre, but there are exceptions that I do make. So who knows? It might lead me into a whole other world. I don't know. But and I like some of the dragon movies that Brad would watch. was it Dragonheart that had the voice of Sean Connery for the dragon? That was a cool movie. What else was there? There was Aragon was good. What other ones had dragons in it? Oh, he used to watch How to Train Your Dragons. Brad loved that movie series. He would watch How to Train Your Dragon. And I do admit, I watched some of the first one, and I thought this is kind of cool. So I was opening and broadening my horizon, broadening my horizons and things, and accepting new things in with dragons. And dragons are pretty cool. And somewhere around in a box, we actually have like this dragon that's wrapped around this like a crystal ball thing, and we got it in Solvang, and it cost him like $15. But we never got the chance to set it up. He never got his office organized enough because he wanted to set up in his office, but we didn't get his office organized enough for him to have a place that he could set it up. So it's a really cool dragon, and I gotta find the box that it's in again. It's in a box. It's in a box that's inside a box. Yes, that's what it is. So maybe I'll pull that one out, because some dragons are really cool when they do the when the movies like create the dragons and things. Some of them are really cool dragons. I'm sort of like, I like that one. But who knows? Anyway, so that's where we're at with our bookcase. It's slowly getting filled as books are getting organized, and my little to read list in my head is going, oh yeah, I need to read that one. I haven't read that one. Oh, I want to read that one again. And that book looks like it hasn't been read at all. Like I got a whole series of Jack Higgins books. I love Jack Higgins. Great action stories and everything else. And like I came across like a pile of, I think it was like 6 or 7 paperbacks. And I'm looking at them going, those paperbacks have never been cracked. Like they've never been read, because you can always tell when a paperback's been read because they have the creases on the spine. These ones are like brown. I'm like, when the heck did we get those? Because I don't recall buying any Jack Higgins books when we're living in Virginia. So unless Brad got them, I don't know. But I got some Jack Higgins books to read, so I'm excited about that too. So you will start seeing me too as I finish reading books, doing like book reviews. I'm going to start doing some book reviews on different books I read. There'll be completely different genres. There'll be a mixture of fiction and nonfiction. And in the nonfiction, I'm looking more at self-development, business, biographies, memoirs, travel memoirs. Those ones fascinating. I love those. And just giving you my thoughts on them. That's what I'm going to start doing that. But they'll probably be separate from the podcast. That'll probably be a separate podcast and not part of my evening podcasts. So I don't know. That's an idea I'm playing around with, or I might just switch that's an idea I've been playing around with for about 3 or 4 weeks now. So I'm doing book reviews, because I have a lot of books and I love to read. So I figured, why not share them? Who knows? So I might do a special podcast just for reading, to do book reviews and things. And if it's a really good book, you'll hear about it here on a podcast in the evening as well. But with that, I am out of here. Join us tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. I have an amazing guest coming on for you guys. She is she's an incredible woman. And the stuff that she has accomplished in her lifetime is just amazing. She just came back from an incredible trip to, was it Bosnia? I think it was Bosnia that she went to. And she does all the solo travel and things too, but she is an amazing person. I can't wait to introduce you guys to her tomorrow night. Keep an eye out in the morning, either late this evening or in the morning, probably early in the morning, on my Facebook page and on the YouTube channel. There will be the save the time. The event will be posted so that you can click on the link and all of that. But really cool guests coming up tomorrow night. So come join us tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific. And I've actually got a guest this week, next week. Because next Wednesday, we're going to have Casey on here, because we're celebrating 5 years of daily podcasts. 5 years. Can you believe it? We're almost at 5 years. It's 9 days away. In 9 days. Oh, I'm still trying to figure out something cool to do that night for that one. But it's going to be a really great show. But we've got I've got Peggy coming on tomorrow. Got Casey coming on next week. Who else have I got coming up? I know I've got a couple in. Which one's that one? I've got a really cool one coming up on the 12th of August and another cool one coming up on the 13th of August and another one on the 23rd of August. Those are the dates in August I've already got booked, but I'm looking to get more guests in there. So, yeah, it's going to be, there's some really cool stuff coming up and I'm super, super excited about it. So mark your calendars for tomorrow night to join us to meet Peggy. She is an incredible woman, and this is a different Peggy than we've previously had on. So, yeah, you haven't met this Peggy on our show. This will be her first time appearing on our podcast. So I'm super excited to get her on here, and she's all about living your best life now. And so that's one reason that I'm super excited to have her on here, because our motto is, live your best, before the dirt nap, live your best life now. And she's all about living her best life now and proving that age is not a barrier when it comes to living your best life now. So tune in tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific to meet Peggy and to find out what it is that she's been up to, what she's been doing, and how she is not letting age stop her. She is an incredible person, and I can't wait for you guys to meet her. So until tomorrow night, go out, have a